Hello there. Welcome everyone to game number 1 between Can't Connect Stuns and Durotan's Couch. We are going to go ahead and have Tomb of the Spider Queen as our first map, but if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see that our red team, Durotan's Couch. Let me real quick make sure. Every time they come into the lobby backwards, I don't know why. They can see on the schedule which order they're supposed to be in. But okay, switch this real quick. So you can see at the... Wait, did that actually... that reverse these? Hold on. Cog sorta, it doesn't update that. That's annoying. Okay, but... Can't Connect Stuns banned out Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. Durotan's Couch has banned out Braxis Holdout and Volskaya. Let's get to the actual draft. Super professional start to the stream. I know you guys are impressed. Hi, friends. So we do have Tracer being banned out first and foremost. Tracer, obviously a bit of a target ban against Mockery. Mockery, kind of famous for their Tracer. TBQH. Cat, you are blocking my light. You're making me look even gothier. I don't know that that's allowed. We do have Kerrigan and now Chin banned out the side of Can't Connect Stuns. Can't Connect Stuns do have first pick and first ban, which does mean Tomb was the selection of Durotan's Couch. Johanna being our second ban. Hi there, Kitten Caboodle. If I ever get another cat, I'm totally naming him Caboodle. So it can be Kitten Caboodle, and then he'll turn into Cat Caboodle when he grows up, and that won't make nearly as much sense. The best jokes are the ones that fade over time and aren't funny anymore. Like the bee sharps. So we do have Blaze being picked up first and foremost by Shredded Wind. Shredded Wind on the Blase. Presumably offlaner. Blaze occasionally gets drafted as a main tank, but not in Nexus. You basically never see that up in the Nexus division. We're gonna have Junkrat being come out by Yonners, and then coming out with the Tyrael. Tyrael, not a tank you see all that much, but I have been definitely seeing more and more and more of him. Hi. Did you know you were annoying? Just a little annoying kitty. Alright, our second ban phase coming out. So they have Tyrael so far. It's going to... I love the aesthetics of Tyrael going into Diablo. They do go and pick up Stitches before, or not Stitches, Stukov, a different S healer. Or different S character. Stukov coming out right before the ban phase, which does mean that they have their offlaner, their tank, and their healer, saving both DPS picks for after the ban phase. Far more DPS characters in the game than anything else, so a little bit harder to figure out what to take out, but they do decide to get rid of the Tassa face. Mockery getting a little bit targeted by necessity because both Tracer and Tassa are being removed. It's possible Tassa is more of an Eric pick. Alright, ban coming out. Now, there is no healer on the side of Durotan's Couch. Admittedly, we haven't banned any healers either, so... Nope, they go ahead and say, nope, we don't want you having the Vala. The Vala Gambit stacks are super bad. I'm a bit surprised. I don't usually see teams... I mean, I guess Junkrat can be either auto attack or ability damage. I usually see Junkrat more as a displacer auto attacker. But Hia coming out with the Maiev. Now I just fizzed as the Leoric. Leoric's super good into Blaze. Kind of a counterpick to Blaze. Not that Leoric can kill Blaze very easily. The Blaze has to really misplay in order to like die to Leoric. But Leoric can keep Blaze back. Leoric basically has a run of the lane, and Blaze has to stay back near the wall because Blaze definitely cannot come out and trade with Leoric very effectively. Plays a slightly bigger hitbox, and it's just too easy to get value out of Drain Hope. We do have Genji, and we're going to have Mockery on the Sergeant Hammer. The Bama, the Hammer, Kowalski. I love this cat. Alright. And we will have the Malfurion. Alright, here we go. Once again, right there beside me. Alright, so going into game number 1, I will get predictions up. Tell me who you think is going to win, and I will see you in the first game. Alright, coming into game number 1, we do have here on the blue side of the battlefield, Durotan's Couch coming out. They are, I believe, the number 2 seed in the division. Coming out, Fade playing the Tyrael, Yonners coming out here on the Junkrat, Idioms onto the Malfurion, Duranda. We do have Hia coming out and playing Maiev, and then I Just Fizzed is going to be on the Leo Rick. Meanwhile, though, on the opposite side of the battlefield, on the orange side, representing Can't Connect Stuns, we're going to go ahead and have Ping coming out here and playing the Stukov. Eric the Lost Viking onto the Genji. Mockery coming out here on Bama the Hammer Kowalski. Shredded Wind onto that Blaze. And then we do have Brainer onto the Dibbles. Dibblicious. Whoa. Over me. So here we go, one more time. Both teams trying to get each other, moving here into the middle. Eric dives in. I think they thought there was someone in that bush. We're going to check out real quick. Big sleep on a Brainer. Brainer has to move back down about 50% health. I Just Fizz, get a little bit of a Drain Hope on there. A little bit of aggression onto Eric, trying to move back. Not a lot of damage onto the blue team, and it does look like we're going to have Leoric move down. Stop too much of this free damage from coming in. But while that happens, we do have Mockery and Shredded Wind moving over to this camp. Going to go ahead and try and get it taken care of right about quick. Answering aggression coming from Yonners and Idioms. Idioms a little bit low, but Idioms is very close to their healer, which is, of course, themselves. I'm always close to myself when I'm the healer, and when I'm not. So you're gonna have Eric down to about 50%. Haiva does have a Vita. I like Haya. But fine. I will pronounce it correctly. Thank you, Black Cat. I do that every time because I just kind of glance at it and I'm blind. Alright, Mockery gets booped back by the Junkrat. That will stop being as effective as soon as they get able to be kind of move around slightly into Hover Siege. I assume they will go with Hover Siege. I don't know for a fact, but that would be my assumation. 4 versus 4 here in the middle. Stuck in the middle with you. But as I say that, Shredded Wind does come up, so it's a momentary 5v5. Has to go ahead and get this cleared out right about quick. Alright, we should see Shredded Wind mosey on back down. Leoric is down here trying to push in. Not really pushing in too effectively. Nice prediction from Shredded Wind. Shredded Wind was moving down and it was like, nope, you're trying to drain hope. Quick little side step. There's the move back, but keep in mind when they're going here, kind of push the middle just a little bit, but they did leave Eric up at the top. Fade moving up there in order to get a little bit of counterbalance, but that could lead to a little bit of experience differential if they lost anything. Does not appear that they will. No one making a move on bottom camp just yet. And looking at our talents at level 1, we do go ahead and have a Fetid Touch coming out of the Stukov up to 8 stacks. We also do have Shuriken Mastery. Only a 1 stack, but they only just picked that up last level. 10 stacks on Ardent Restoration. Lots of turn for the blue team. Not quite able, but there's Shredded Wind coming from the side. Ran in, but there's not actually anyone with them. A bit of damage on the Yonners. They're looking at Yonners right now, and they will actually get Yonners. However, there's a big old root. Shredded Wind in a bit of trouble. That is going to be Shredded Wind going down. But Malfurion also going down to the oppressive Siege Fire from Mockery. 2 for 1 in favor of Can't Connect Stuns. Alright, here we have this moving back and forth. Brainer is trying to turn this in. Obviously, Idiom's not interested in letting that happen. Gonna go ahead and keep moon firing the Dibbles. No, turn in for you! Dibbles comes in, charges in, gets a little bit of damage onto Yonners. A little bit of, that almost looked like a Baneling coming out of the Mockery. I think it was just throwing the mines out. Stun coming down, and there is Fade, getting faded on. Ping moving back real quick onto that Stukov. Ping a little bit low on mana, needs to be slightly careful. Definitely Idiom's not having the same problem. There's the Hover Siege as predicted. Eric getting drained hoped a little bit. I just Fizz keeping pretty good pace with them. They take the thing where they move faster when that's out, or like are less slow, I guess. Yep, no reduces their movement speed. I was gonna say it felt like it. Nope. Oh, sorry about that. That was a little bit of an abrupt movement. Alright, we do go and have a root coming down, sleep onto Mockery. A little bit of a possibly bad position. Just go and move out of there. Idiom's super low, and it's going to be taken out by the Stukov. A little bit of a healer on healer violence, as much as you can call it that when the entire team was involved. Alright, we do go and have the Web Weavers coming out. Landing. It does look like the majority of the orange team is here in the middle, or the red team, depending on if you use the actual colors or the colorblind colors. Eric goes in and dives in for just a second. Really more of a I'm making you nervous dive than an actual I'm trying to get you dive. Oh, speaking of which, here's Shredded Wind from the back. Big stun coming in, landing in an unexpected location, and that's going to be a kill on Malfurion. Fantastic coordination, letting Shredded Wind sneak around from the back line, and that is going to most likely be this fort going down. Very, very difficult to... I just Fizz is being a little bit brave. Running into all that, does go ahead and spooky walk out of there. They're eyeballing this top. Okay, only Eric is. The rest of them are going ahead and moving into the bottom of the map. Or the middle of the map, trying to go in and get a wall down as well. And very, very little chance they'll actually be able to take down this structure. But you know what? Experience is good, and easier pushing later is good. This map is a little unique in that the way its objectives comes through, you don't need to get like the side lanes. It's not like say Infernal Shrines, where taking down additional fort benefits you in turn-ins, because depending on where the shrine spawns, denying your opponent's access to their Moonwell can be very, very helpful and impactful in the fights. In this one, you just kind of need to push one lane. It's like taking out additional structures does not necessarily help you. Also, what does not help you is getting Mockery killed as the Sergeant Hammer goes down. Brainer looking a little bit rough for wear, just going to get knocked back. Would you go and have the Warden's Cage come out from the Maiev? Maiev. There is Diablo going down. Looking at our level 10 talents, we do go and have the Bunker Drop coming down. Napalm Strike. And I can't tell these things, they are... So I'll just cheat and bring this up. We also do go ahead and have X-Strike that we saw use that last fight, Flailing Swipe, and then the Lightning Breath. The Brainer special. Brainer loves Lightning Breath to the ends of the earth. You go ahead and have Judgment coming out, Containment Disc. There's Riptire, Twilight Queen, and Entomb. Meanwhile, we do have Web Weavers coming out in service of the blue team, but red is right on the verge of level 13. Going to be having a little bit of trouble trying to not move into this. Because they will momentarily have an advantage with that extra talent here. Alright, top and middle cleaned up. Looks like Shredded Wind is making short work of the bottom. None of the forts are going to go down just yet. Fizz was staying in just a little bit. There's Brainer. Brainer looking for something, but there's the Warden's Cage coming out on the Dibbles. That's what I saw before. That almost looked like a Zagara Baneling. It was Stukov's Pustule. It's coming in. They want the world to know. More Web Weavers coming in. The boss at the top of the map has despawned, not available for the other team to try and pick up just yet. There's Eric coming in, going ahead and trying to get that pustule to spread, being able to hit the whole enemy team whenever the engage happens. Surprisingly enough, Blaze in the middle, despite the fact that middle is already pushed super well. A little bit of aggression for the rest of the team up here on the top. Gonna have a hard time really moving into that. Meanwhile, the orc is down here taking care of the bottom one, which is a little bit more threatening. Top Web Weaver is down, and the Web Weaver is not going to get a whole lot done. Once again, they really like teaching Diablo. Alright, there is a boop into fade. Brainer moving back just a little bit. Eric went a little bit deep. He's in too deep. And does get down to about 20%. There was Eric getting out of there. I think that was a charge, but ended up hitting onto Mockery. But Mockery having a hard time. Mockery getting down, but so is Malfurion. However, Eric's super low, having a hard time getting out of there, trying to survive this. Does go ahead and X-Strike is not actually down yet, but is very much out of the fight. Took refuge in the bunker down to less than 100 hit points, but will go down. Brainer, on the other hand, gonna have a little bit of a hard time. Did go ahead and got onto Hiva. I'm learning. Does end up at the end of the day being a 2-for-1 in favor of Durotan's Couch. And we do have double turn-in actually available for our blue team. And here comes the first wave of Web Weavers. Or should I say the first thread of Web Weavers? It is not your correct. What is it called? It locks them up. I thought we might have in a long time. Containment disc. Legitimate question. How come Warden's Cage isn't the one that locks them in place? And Containment Disc is not the one that makes a circular area around to contain them? Like, this is not my fault. Meanwhile, however, also not my fault is Eric going absolutely out of their mind. That is a triple kill coming outside of CCS, and they may be looking to push the middle of the map. It looks like no, they're going to come up here and actually pick up Boss, most likely. Blaze not here. Blaze actually going to go ahead and... Okay, I thought I was going to pick up this one, but no, they're going to go ahead and keep Aegis Fizz off of their middle. We want to go and keep this advantage. We do have Fade in the area, but Fade definitely cannot do anything about this. And that's a very nice pickup. I actually really thought Genji got that. I don't think it should have been Makri's kill. I think Makri stole that. I think Brainer is a little bit like... Brainer thought they were going in, and the rest of the team was like, oh, we left, my dude. Turn-in is available on the side of... Can't connect stuns. Yeah, but is it spelled Warden apostrophe S? It's not Warden's cage, as it's a Warden apostrophe S, I'm almost positive. And so that would be the cage that belongs to the Warden. There is Shredded getting the second turn in. Couldn't quite line that up with the top boss. A little damage. Fade might be in trouble. Does go ahead and teleport to relative safety. Alright, big. Oh my gosh, that was so many. Very nice ult coming out. The Riptide caught a lot of people. That's going to be the Warden going down. And they are going in. Last time went for boss. This time they're going to go ahead and try and go for the end. I'm looking after this game. I just want to know. This isn't a I want to prove you right, now I'm wrong. Or wait, crap. That's not what I would have proved anyway. I'm bad at this. But we do go and have a big push coming in. Brainer goes in. Brainer gets a little bit out. Gets hit by a couple of cannonballs. Lowers their overall armor. But there is the raw coming from Fire Breath. Can't get out of the death zone coming out of the wave of death. That's actually what it's called. But it is going to be the core going down. And game number 1 is down against the might of Can't Connect Stuns. Alright, looking at the stats, we do go and have 79,000 damage coming out of Mockery. We do go to 79,000 is almost double Junkrat's damage from Yawners. We do have just absolutely coming in. I feel like Mockery just led to a lot of sustained damage and really enabled Eric to dive in and get a lot of kills. Because here's the thing, like, they got 13 kills. Eric was involved in 13 of them. Technically, so was Stukov and Hammer. But Genji getting the final kill, oddly enough, it was actually Stukov that got the most finishing blows. But I feel like basically Sergeant Hammer was keeping everyone low, and then Eric was able to just pick people off. 37,000 coming out of Eric. Healing-wise, we do have a slight edge, but only very slight from Malfurion. 64,000 versus Pink coming in with 63. But that's a big difference in damage and not a big difference in healing. So very well done from Ping to be that close. And then look at experience contribution. We do have Fizz slightly outpacing the Blaze. Blaze went up in order to get involved in fights a little bit more. And you can see at the end, and I've got the hiccups, help. Talents, here they are. Copy them down. Take them to your games. Get all of the victories. But most importantly, Maiev, talents. It is Warden apostrophe S cage, so I'm going to stand by the fact that it makes more sense the other way around. Warden's cage, I know it says trap enemies in a cage of avatars, but Warden's cage should be the thing that locks them in place and doesn't let them leave. And containment disc should be the big disc around that contains. But I will see you all for game number 2. I will try and stop hiccuping. I will do a bad job of it. Be right back. So far, so good. We are here in game number 2. Can't Connect Stuns did win the first game. So obviously, everyone needs to root for Durotan's couch in this game because we do not want a 3-game series. We want to go all the way to 5. I want all the hot action I can get here on a Friday night. Can't Connect Stuns. Wa-da-da-da. They're going to ban out Kerrigan once again. On the other side, I believe they banned out Tracer and Johanna in game number 1. But keep in mind, Durotan's Couch are the team that lost. So if we're going to see an adjustment in bans, it will probably come from them. Usually the winning team does not have to change their ban strategy. So far, so the same though. Tracer coming out. They want the world to know. Got to let it show. Alright, there's the junkie rat. Junkie. Junkie. Oh, junkie rat. Same, not the same band there, so we definitely saw Junkrat in game number 1. I'm trying to remember who they banned there instead. Definitely wasn't a healer, there were no healer bans. That was Johanna, I remember that. Was it like a false set or something? But first pick do go to the side of CCS, which does mean that when Durotan's Couch lost game number 1, they chose map pick, so they are taking us to Infernal Shrines. That may mean they've got something special, something spicy up their sleeves. I'm like, I'm going to show you my sleeve, and then I picked the solid black sleeve that you can't really see. I could have easily picked this one, which would have like done the joke much better. But I didn't. Da, 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 there is Blase. Blase, Blase. So Fizzed once again on the Blaze, but this time Hiva gonna come back onto the Sylvanus. Sylvanus not running game number 1, super good on this map. Sylvanus basically makes every protector into a frozen protector. So in a certain weird way, Durotan's Couch want the frozen protector the least, because if you get a like Molten or a Arcane protector, or not protector, Punisher, then you will just like it's a frozen plus Arcane Punisher. It does both. If it's frozen, it's just extra frozen. Mal'Ganis coming out from Brainer. Diablo not bad. It's surprising to me that they could wrestle Diablo away from Brainer when it was actually allowed. I do not blame that Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer did so much damage in game number 1. Like, no mockery, not allowed. We don't yet have the offlaner picked up. And interestingly, they're going to, at least so far, have Mockery as the offlaner. Last time it was definitely Leo versus Blaze. But not... Ping was their healer, and this time Shredded Wind took the healer. So Ping is going to be something else. Probably being banned out because once again, they have a healer, their opponents don't. That is interesting. They're taking a global off the table. Falstad is still available. If they want to get, like, global... What am I trying to say? Global dominance. We do have Anduin and Uther. Uther very interesting. Uther possibly filling the role of tank here. I mean, almost certainly, you almost never see double healer with Uther, and Uther isn't also being like a frontline melee hero. He's okay as a healer, but he really excels in the fact that all his healing also gives him armor.
Order comes
Tassadar will be getting... Game number 1, they banned out Tassadar, so Mockery couldn't take it, so Mockery took Hammer. And they're like, yeah, that Hammer sucks. You can have Tassadar. Ping gonna be on the Arthas? Is that offlane Arthas or is that offlane Mal'Ganis? It's gotta be offlane Arthas, right? I know offlane Arthas can be a thing. What's banned? Oh, that's right. Arthas is banned? Okay, yeah. So, for those that don't know, Arthas had a rework right at the beginning of playoffs. And so, Arthas is not available to be taken. I almost completely forgot that. Thank goodness. Fade was on top of it. Because that would have probably... I actually really wonder what would have happened if nobody noticed until after the match was over. Because, like, playing Arthas would have been a forfeit from CCS. Like, you can't play with a banned hero. It's not allowed. But if nobody caught it, I'm sure someone would have noticed eventually. It would be funny. Same draft, so you just pick Arthas again. I was excited to see Arthas. But I'm glad we're following the rules. As a moderator, I have to be glad we're following the rules. It's requisite. Da-dum. I could go back to the in-between screen, but we should be starting in just a second, so I'm not going to. And you can't make me.
Infernal shrines.
Here we go. This should go very, very fast. I'm not going to play by play. Oh, look, trades are being banned. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Y'all can't make me. But since you guys saw the draft, I will go ahead and get the predictions up. So y'all can bet on who you want to win for. A lot of people went for Durotan Scouting game number 1, and a lot of people lost their, whatever the currency is here. It's Snickerdoodles on my channel. I don't know what it is on NGS. I'm going to guess emblems. I'm going to guess, moist chickens.
Victory for the Forsaken.
I must feed.
This is the real question I have. How was CCS's draft planning to get the Arthas, forgetting it was banned, and can they pivot? Because something that happens where you're like, okay, we're going to set all this up, and then Arthas is going to tie it all together, and then it's like, Arthas is banned, and you're like, whoa. Because if they were expecting Arthas when they picked these heroes, and now they don't get them, and obviously it's completely on them, like, it's correct that they don't get Arthas, but I do have to wonder if that's going to somewhat decap them.
The light abandons no man. From order comes justice.
All right, don't pick Arthas, Ping. Don't do it! Alright, going for the Hogair. That does confirm it would have been offline Arthas, which makes absolute sense. Because offline Balganis just did not make any sense. Alright, Yonder's being our last pick. Who are you going to match up against as our second DPS?
I'm here to help.
And it's going to be Jaina, who hates resorting to violence. Alright, here we go into game number 2. Get ready, we're on Infernal Shrines, the most balanced map, and here is the storm. Let's get to it.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
Alright, here we go into game number 2, representing Durotan's Couch, trying to come back, trying to claw their way back in the series. I shouldn't really say claw, they're only down 1 game. Claw is more of a best of 3 statement than a best of 5. We do have Yonners playing the Winter Veil Jaina. We're going to have Fade onto the Lumberjack Uther. Hiva is going to be playing the Sylvanus. Idioms on the Superhero Anduin. And then Frosty Boy Blaze being played by Aegis Fist. They are the Duchy of Desolation. They are Durotan's Couch. But opposing them on the orange side of the battlefield, winners of game number 1, we do have Ping playing the Hogger. We're going to go ahead and have Brainer on the Balganis. We're going to have Mockery onto the Tassaface, Shredded Wind playing the Rhaegar. And who have I not said yet? We're going to have Eric once again onto that Genjulu. They are your orange team. They are the Centurions of Calamity. They are Can't Connect Stuns. Both teams going ahead and going for their camp early on. Slightly faster pickup, but definitely no attempt to invade from either team. Scouting each other, but definitely more members of the blue team down here. Oh, that was a lot of damage Brainer took for no reason. Here comes more people in. They do have their healer nearby, but can their healer get that damage back? There was a lot of free damage onto Brainer, but Brainer is moseying in, and all 5 members are down here. It's a big old fracas going on down here, and Shredded Wind trying to get out of here. I'm a dog, let me go. Nice sidestep, but that is going to go ahead and be the blue getting priority. First kill onto Brainer, and then they should be getting this camp as well. So about a quarter level lead, a third of a level lead coming out on the side of Durotan's Couch. Definitely what we want to see if we want to see a turnaround and a tied up series. But obviously that's definitely not saying that it's over. It's especially not over as Uther gets taken out by an Eric. Suddenly from the bushes, it's Eric. Blaze moseying his way back up here to the Hogair. I like to mosey. I like to mosey. This will be a Frozen Punisher first and foremost. As mentioned in the draft, Frozen Punishers are a little bit higher priority for Durotan's Couch because Sylvanas makes every Punisher a Frozen Punisher, so it's not especially valuable for the orange team.
Yourselves for the slaughter.
Alright, looks like Hogger's going to push for the top one. our orange team being a little bit less interested in securing this objective and more interested in letting Hogger get damage with this camp. Blaze is responding by moving up in order to stop that. Says, oh, I can see you pushing. We're not gonna let that happen. Nope, nope, nope. Meanwhile, we have a fight happening here. Brainer in the middle, lots of damage. We do go now a double sleep coming down. Yano's coming in. It looks like we got this moving back. Genji in the area, but not actually fully committing. Waiting until damage gets done to be able to dive in and pick up that kill. Here's I Just Fizz coming down. Brainer dancing on the edge. You dance it, living on the edge. Does eventually get taken down by Sylvanas. Sylvanas super all over the place. And there is Eric going down as well. That is a second and a third kill on the side of Durotan's couch. Other team getting a whole lot. Both of them get some damage on the bottom tower, but no actual structure, like structures destroyed. Here comes the Frozen Punisher. The double Frozen Punisher, since you have Sylvanas. Is a double Frozen Punisher basically like having 2 scoops of ice cream? I used to know a kid that would do that. He'd order like a 2-scoop ice cream, but then he'd just get both vanilla or something. And I'm like, what's the point of getting 2 scoops if it's gonna be the same flavor? Alright, Brainer not having the same... I remember I was surprised they went with Mal'Ganis because Diablo was 100% up, but they went for with Mal'Ganis this time, and it does not look like the Mal'Ganis pick is working out. That is the 3rd time Mal'Ganis has gone down. Now, granted, Mal'Ganis does survive... Like, more hit points will help Mal'Ganis, because Mal'Ganis can put the enemy team to sleep, and as the burst comes out, being able to put them to sleep and heal up in the interim will help immensely. Do go and have a good bit of damage coming through as we're starting to move forward. Alright, there's that being picked up by our lovely blue team. Durotan's couch definitely go well on their way. They're up level 10s. We do go to have a light bomb coming out of the Anduin. Bunker drop, water elemental, wailing arrow, and I'm pretty... What? I don't recognize that icon. That is... Okay, that is Divine Storm. I was not 1000% sure. That was a kill the Hogger up here at the top while I was looking at ults. Speaking of ults, we do have Archon coming out. The Bat Swarm. What's that actually called? I don't repeat of last time. That is Dark Conversion. We do got an X-Strike coming out, Ancestral Healing, and Hogger does not know. Hogger very, very busy respawning, does not have time to pick their talent just yet.
In my name.
Okay, now we're moving over here, but keep in mind, Eric completely saw them. So this is not unknown. However, we saw Raider all the way at the bottom of the map. I'm not sure they can engage into this. They will be down a person. But Eric actually comes in and secures the camp. They did not realize there was only 4. They'll probably get ping here. Ping gets silenced, and I do not think that Hogger can survive. We do have a little bit of damage coming the other way. There was an Ancestral Healing, and Idiom's going to get taken out. Shredded Wind super, super, super low, and Brainer not looking too healthy either. But there is that Dark Conversion coming out, goes ahead and lands on top of Blaze. Blaze going to go ahead and go down, 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 right around. Oh my gosh, Fade should have died, but did not. Was in the middle of being unstoppable. So the, not Judgment, the Divine Storm, that's what it's called. Divine Storm from Uther did not actually stun them. That would have been another kill. Still 3 kills to 6. Advantageous for Durotan's couch. This will be an Arcane Punisher coming out. We will have a bit of an aggression going on here. 3 people going in. Peen trying to hold that back. Here comes Brainer. The honors gets very, very low. A little bit of electrocution coming out. Oh, and Fade not looking too healthy. There is the Water Ellie. Protected, by the way, as Eric goes ahead and fades back. I should say fades back when Fade is actually in the game. Oh, I just fizzed and may have made a mistake. Goes and charges in there. However, Hogger did not come up, so it is like they are outnumbered on the side of can't connect stuns just for a moment as Hogger is in the area about to arrive. 37, Brainer a little bit ouched. Quick fall down from I Just Fizzed. Bunker is down, but here comes the Arcane Punisher. Going to go ahead and start pushing through, having these Arcane Blasts and Arcane Whirlwinds coming down in order to bring a very, very difficult to stand. Bunches of damage. Damage for me. Big Sun coming out of Blaze coming in there. Goes ahead and lands on that. Followed up by the Light Bomb. And we do go and have... Man, Tesla was just not allowed to move. Meanwhile, we do have Brainer going ahead and just doing swipey swipes all over the place. Swipey swipe all the way back to the Hall of Storms as another 2-kill pickup comes in for Durotan's couch. Shredded Wind moving down to the middle of the map. Kind of giving up the top... board, it looks like, which I'm not surprised. They are very outnumbered up there. Blue team has destroyed a fort. Absolutely. There's Brainer coming out. This will be Durotan's couch. Go ahead and take down another fort. They are up. They've actually taken out all 3 forts of their opponents. And right now, Can't Connect Sun is definitely on the back foot. Gunners. I like the ice block, so that was Dark Conversion. Didn't actually do that much damage because Brainer wasn't that low, but almost an immediate ice block because ice block stops poison damage, which is effectively what Dark Conversion is. And that's going to be a Hogger, gets a little bit taken down. Was coming in for the flank, but then the flank didn't happen because Brainer fell back.
Ready. A shrine gathers power. You will take it for me.
Alright, Genji up here trying to deal with this, make sure it doesn't get too much free value. At the same time, we do have the shrine coming up, but the blue team is moving down, and the can't connect stuns is going to have to make sure to deal with this as well. So that will delay their ability to really contest this objective, unless they get like into a good position and come in from a weird angle and just pick someone off real quick. Lots of damage onto, oh my gosh, and yeah, Brainer just cannot move. No movement for Brainer. Shredded Wind going down as well as people get on top of them. There is Fade. They do get the Uther, but they get a triple kill on the other side. So Durotan's couch in a dominant position, able to pick this up, and we'll have a Frozen Mortar Punisher pushing down.
Listen and obey.
Alright, they're going to go ahead and pick up this mercenary camp and start it moving through the middle of the map while they push bottom. You guys are going to push bottom, right? Nope. I almost feel like I'm in a Storm League match where they're like, we want this camp, we want this camp, we want this camp. At the same time, though, all of their opponents are back up, so it's not like they're giving up an advantage here. It almost feels like they're trying to see if they can bait out a response and get a kill so they can actually push for the win.
Summon the Mortar Punisher.
Bunches of damage coming through. And there is the push-in. Mortar bombs are dropping. Here's the thing. The Mortar Punisher is one of the best punishers to push, to do damage to buildings, because buildings cannot dodge all those fire bombs it keeps dropping. Down to about 50% health as the keep goes down. And Mortar Punisher is just leading its way. There is level 20 on the side of Durotan's Scout, and they are looking to go ahead and end this game. Go through. There is the Ancestral Healing. Ancestral Healing, Durotan Scout does not give a heck about Ancestral Healing. They're just going to come through. I just fist charge through. Does not quite hit Shredded Wind. That is 2 for 1. Now they are down their effective tank. There is Shredded Wind. Goes and leaps in. Bite. I just fist comes in, but there is a Contra Camp and a Catapult onto the core. Core shields are down, and it is taking core damage. Cat, move! There is the Frozen Sylvanas coming in. Oh, lots of damage onto Fizz. And Fizz will get taken out by really the Rhaegar, but I feel like the Hog was doing most of that damage. Here comes Ping from the side, trying to go in and get on top of someone. Yawner's a little bit, I'm not going to say crazy, but I am going to say dead. Idiom's trying to stay alive. Will not go down. Will not vanish without a fight. Alright, we do going to have the Divine Storm coming out of the Uther. I was really like, who is Super D? Alright, we do go ahead and have the Hawker moving down. Now the real question is going to be which of these camps is going to get priority. And the answer is probably going to be the blue camp. They're evenly matched, but blue is going to have catapults eventually, and I think that'll make the difference. But as I say that, we do actually have some people getting on top. Oh, definitely going to be the orange camp as the Hogger shows up. Now here comes Yonners moving up, trying to go ahead and blunt this aggression. I just Fizz and Idioms coming as well. Fade coming back. They really have to kill this Hogger. Alright, they will stop this from moving through, but their opponents have occupied the Frozen Punisher spot and are threatening to move through it. Now keep in mind, middle lane is the best lane to be pushed, because it's the one they've dealt the most damage to. Alright, 21 damage as Mockery goes in and puts another lightning blast right through the minion wave. Does feel like that the control coming out of Durotan's couch is better. CCS having to play a little bit back along the edges. A lot of damage. Fade is very, very low. Not a superhero. But maybe not a survivor either. However, the worst survivor is going to be Mockery as Mockery goes down on Tassadar. We do go and have Ping going through, gets a bit of a stun. Ping trying to get out of there. And Eric has a smorgasbord if Eric has any abilities. But it does look like we've actually got a kill coming out of the side of Mal'Ganis. Moving back. Eric, I have a kill! Eric having a little bit of problems. It is 3v3 at the moment, but it much lower health bars. Meanwhile, though, they did successfully actually get the Punisher, and the Punisher has been pushing away. Punisher took down the middle of the fort. It does look like we've got a fallback. The bottom keep went down on the side of CCS, and Brainerd going to go ahead and be picking that up because there's a triple catapult party going on down there. It's a catapult party. Who could ask for more?
Red team's Punisher has fallen.
Red team's core is under attack.
Actually not, they stopped the catapults. Right, they're moving back. Both sides. Now keep in mind, we are up to level 22 all, so both sides have the same challenge here, same amount of hit points, same amount of damage resistance. No advantageousness. Ping moving away. It looks like they're trying to potentially move in and get Ping. Will Ping sniff this out? Signs point to no. I think Ping saw the blaze sitting here, but did not realize there was more people coming around this side to cut off the escape. And then tried to get them a merry runaround, and there were more people here, there were more people here. It was a surprise party! They are pushing this top lane, trying to go ahead and get yet another keep down. But that does mean they've got double Conjure Camp pushing the middle. They do have a Conjure Camp pushing over here. So, like, they can get advantage, they can probably get keep here, but they may lose a lot in the backswing. That's actually a keep their announcement. Now, announcer, good job. Oh, the urge to pursue them so hard? Like, here's the thing at the end of the day. At the end of the day. Eric being a pest, but Eric definitely cannot really stop this. Oh, almost. this down to 1,800 hit points.
Shrine will be ready soon.
This is going to be a shrine at the top of the map. Will be a mortar shrine once it comes up. Now this is important. This is over halfway, which means that over time, I do think orange will get an advantage, because that's relatively even, but definitely not getting an advantage at the top of the map as Hogger goes down. Yeah, that was an ouch. I'm not sure why they committed so hard when they knew they were down a person. I mean, admittedly, we are late enough in the game that this would be a very, very difficult Punisher to hold back, but it didn't get any easier with that. And here comes the mortars from the top. Once more from the top. With feeling.
Red team's core is under attack.
Alright, they do lure the Punisher down, distracted for a little bit, but all that actually does is gets another one of their force destroyed. Because this Punisher is very, very angry, and that's a lot of damage. We do have the Ancestral coming out. Ancestral does come out, but still we end up with the Mal'Ganis going down. Gigi not able to stay into the fight. There is Ping, bouncing back and forth, trying to go and stay in there. Shredded Wind super low, not able to stay in there. There's a little bit of a elite dash from Shredded Wind, but it does look like game number 2 is going in favor of Durotan's couch, as Blaze leads him to victory. Actually, to be fair, as the Punisher leads him to victory, Punisher was definitely in the lead in that, charge! Looking at the stats, Hiva comes out with, 104,000 damage over the course of the game, outpacing the Mockery by about 6,000. The Mockery comes with 98,000 on that Tassaface. Jaina with 85,000. Healing-wise, we do have higher healing from Idioms, out-healing Shredded by about, almost 10,000 healing. 123 versus 114. And then looking at the experience, we do have Aegis Fizz once again slightly outdoing their opposition. This time Ping, 26,000, 24,000. Talents, that seems generous. Copy them down, take them into Stormlink, get all of the amazing and epic victory. And I will see thee in game number 3.
Dragonshire.
Hello, hello, friends. Welcome to game number 3. As you can see at the top of the screen, we are at a tie set. Can't connect stuns. Won game number 1. Durotan's couch. Won game number 2. Here we are in game number 3. This is not the rubber match because it is a best of 5, which I'm just now realizing it probably doesn't say when I'm actually in the game. But none of you noticed that, so it totally has said this the whole time. Don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, Div D finals should be starting up right about now on NGS 2. Just look at the stream at the top and put a 2 at the end of a Nexus Gaming series. We will raid over there whenever the season is done, or this, actually both season and game is done, but the series has at least 2 games left, so if you want to see Div D, I would 100% suggest going over there. Sylvanas being banned out. I do not blame them for not winning the Sylvanas, but once again, Tracer for mockery. It's a ban. Hi, cat. Oh, interesting. TLV coming out. Obviously, very, very intentional pick. Intentional ban, I should say. Intentional, you cannot pick. You cannot pick. But our first pick is coming out.
The crusade calls.
So this is the first time they did not ban out to Johanna, and immediately Brainer jumps on the Joe. Now, obviously, Johanna being on Can't Connect Stuns does limit your ability for auto attackers because Johanna can really, really, really interfere with a Tychus or interfere with a Vala.
Hunt them down.
You almost have to go into at least some ability damage just so you can't get taken out of the fight by a focusing Johanna. Biz going to go in and get on Hogger. Hogger was taken last time by Ping, so will be on the side of Durotan's couch this time around. Brightwing coming out on idioms.
With every death,
I will fight to my last breath.
With every death, I'll fight to my last breath. What? We do want to have Shredded coming out. Shredded once again in the healer role. A bit interesting, only because Ping was the healer in game number 1. And like when you switched away from Ping as the healer, you lost. So I'm surprised they're not going back to the formula that worked. But no, Shredded wants to be a healer. They want to heal it, heal it. Zeratul being banned out. Once again, we do have no offlaner picked yet for the side of CCS. There is a healer and an offlaner, so this should either be a tank ban or a DPS ban. What are you afraid of, CCS? What do you not want to see on the other side? Varian getting taken out. A little bit worried of the taunt into Polly in order to just keep people from moving away. Though Anduin could be a bit of a counter for that if they tried for it. But granted, Rhaegar's already on the other team. Fade coming out with the Deathwing. We're going to have Big Dragon, Little Dragon going on the side of Durotan's couch. Also, Yawners taking the Genji away from Eric. A lot of thievery going on, I've got to say. Hogger getting taken from P. Genji getting taken away from Eric.
Ready to roll out.
Finally.
I wonder if that's going to be a switch, because that is going to be Sergeant Hammer on Ping. Keep it. Mockery played Sergeant Hammer to great effect in game number 1. And there comes Hiva coming out with the Chromie. Kiva. No switch yet. So it does look like we're going to have Mockery Hanzoing it up. Little battle of the brothers going on with Genji going into Hanzo. But let's get into game number 3. Find out who is going to be the victor. Nope, we already did that. We'll do it before game 5. Or 4, I guess.
Heroes, prepare for combat.
Alright, here comes game number 3, representing the blue team. We do go to have Durotan's Couch. They're going to go ahead and have Fade playing the Deathwing, Aegis Fizz playing the Hogair, Kiva coming out here and playing the Chromie, the Sand Mage. A lot of dragons, actually. We've got Healy Dragon and Big Fire Dragon and Sand Dragon. I just fizzed. Is going to be that. Yoners onto the Genji. I talked about it, but Brightwing is being played by Idioms because I didn't actually say Idioms. I just talked about Healy Dragon. Healy Dragon is not Alexstrasza. Let me be clear. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, we do have Dragon Arrow being played by Mockery. I think that's the only dragon I can even like kind of claim. We do go ahead and have Shredded Wind playing the Rhaegar. Brainer coming out here on the Johanna. Alarak will be played by Eric. And then up here in the top lane, we do go ahead and have Ping playing the Sajid Hama. Oh, Yoners, you got nothing done, my friend. You got nothing done. Zero panic from Ping. Alright, Lost Neighbors going through a big aggression, and there goes Idioms going down, which obviously having someone die is bad, but what's even worse about that is that they died near Alarak, which means Alarak did get 3 stacks and 6% damage for the rest of the game, or at least until they die. Alarak did take Overwhelming Power at level 1. Able to be a little bit more sustaining this time around.
Capture the shrine, inherit the Dragon Knight's power, and lay waste to this forsaken kingdom.
Alright, bottom is being taken. It does look like Ping is in position to go ahead and push for this. I don't know that they'll actually go for the objective. I don't think there's any real attempt to do a challenge just yet, because Ping can sit here and just push with this camp and get a lot of free value, but we do go to have Aegis Fizz coming up in order to put it into that particular plot. Alright, we do go to have the channel available. Now, the only person in the middle is Hanzo on the orange team, so we're not going to have a blue dragon just yet. I know when I was a kid I played double dragon, but what is triple dragon? Is there a version of double dragon where there's also a sister along? Alright, and we do go and have a kill. Oh, double kill. A little bit of a fight happened. I was a little bit obsessed with this particular conflict down here. Did not realize what was happening up above. But that is a double kill for Durotan's Couch. And once again, they do have the ability to get a Dragon Knight, and they also do have Yoners in the area. Now, definitely going to have to stay and hold this until Genji can become. But they will do so successfully. Spade goes ahead and moves in. Lots of damage coming down onto the crow. Eric not going down yet. Just going down to Sadism. Also picked up Chaos Begins. There's Fade. I thought that actually hit the Dragon Knight. Okay, you have to... It doesn't show me how many heroes been hit, just that we haven't gotten that particular reward. Because yeah, it's 0 out of 220, but it's actually just the bonus damage from the 3 things. Alright, there goes Raga. This might be a chance to hit a Discord strike on a lot of things. Not quite able to land it though. Seemed very promising. Went down to 93 bonus damage because they just like applied force. The Deathwing's a really, really good pickup here because a lot of what Alrak is trying to do is getting shut down by that Deathwing. Because Deathwing just doesn't care what Alrak, you know, when Alrak pushes people around, Deathwing's like, what exactly are you trying to do? It's like whenever you try and run a lawnmower, but you forgot to like turn on the motor, and so you're just sort of like moving the blades that aren't spinning over the like grass. The grass just kind of lays down for a second and comes back up.
It won't be long before the shrines are ready for the taking.
Alright, a little bit of damage on the Fade, down to almost 50%. A little bit of a tussle going on here, and Fizz has to get the heck out of dodge.
There must always be a Dragon Knight, but will it be you?
There's Ping moving on up. Eric moves into the bit. Can we say Eric Rack? Is that a thing? Alright. Threatening a orange knight. Raider moving back. Alright, that is going to be a kill into Alrak. There goes the extra 3% because that was only valid until Alrak died, and Alrak kind of just bit it, unfortunately. That is 5 kills to 1, strongly in favor of Durotan's couch. There is this moving through, but it looks like Hogwarts will be right up there in order to stop it from getting any free value. Alright, silence coming down. I like how protected doesn't actually save you from silence. Mockery moves back, does not want to get landing into that. There is Ping, ready to come over. He's going ahead and shelling them with that Sajid Hama. And we are back to the extra 3% because we've gotten a second kill on the side of Durotan's couch. Completely blinked on that, I'm sorry guys. And actually with them coming down, they didn't actually clean this up, so this is going to get quite a bit of value. Dragon Knight will try and get that cleared out. Here comes Ping. Meanwhile, there's a tussle going on down here. A tussle that does not favor the orange team. Not one little chin bit. Dragon in the middle, playing a nice fiddle.
His strength
Alright, Hogger goes ahead, unstoppables away. Because he's unstoppable today. Chromie coming down here to check this out. I'm gonna drop a time trap just to see when people come down here, and we'll almost immediately see people. They do check out the hammer. Hammer was kind of shuttling around here, ran into a lot of the enemy, and here they come down here. I don't know if they'll be in time to actually stop this, but with Fade landing, it's very possible. But Fade taking a ton of damage, and bye-bye. That's a double kill, feeding Alrak. Nom 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 nom. Does not quite get Yotters. That is a little bit tragic, actually. You really want to power Eric up. But that was a double kill, and Eric is up to 99 sadism, nearly back up. Also did accomplish hitting 15 heroes and hitting 2 heroes at once. Has not gotten the hitting 3 heroes yet. You can tell because that gets all of them. There's an NA arrow narrowly missing the other side. Actually, wait, I'm sorry. That's the EU arrow that narrowly misses. The NA arrow is the misclick that goes completely the wrong direction.
Power gathers within the shrines. Seize them and become the new dragon.
I'm down here trying to clear this up, and we're going to have answering giants moving across the map in just a little bit. Bum bum bum. We are 11 minutes to this game, and no structures have fallen yet, or at least no main structures. There's Ping moving away, Shredded healing real quick. Shredded may be a little bit too much of a hero. But there is protected, by the way. Does save that. I cannot believe Yana survived that. That does not feel real. I saw the Alrock here and I was like, that he's gonna run right into death. And then he didn't. Alright, that's going to be a very, very, very dead hammer. Definitely unable to get away from that, I guess, in a 3v1. Definitely does not have time to clean that up with that already being charged out. Oh, narrowly misses. That arrow ruffled her skirt or dress or whatever she's wearing. I think it's a dress. I think the top is connected to the bottom. Oh. This might be something. Yatter's barely alive. Boop. Okay, this is what you want to do with Alrak. This is Alrak getting absolutely a little bit out of control. Fade is the next to go. And Alrak up to 122 stacks of sadism, doing 244 bonus damage. Or 122% bonus damage, but that increases overall damage by 222%.
To save this realm. Now it burns.
So this definitely felt like Durotan's Couches of game, but with that we do have a that's a lead in terms of structures coming up for the first time in favor of Can't Connect Stuns. And they're looking at doing the triple, the hat trick, getting all 3 forts in the same objective phase. And they will do so as the top, middle, and bottom. Or more correctly, the middle, top, and bottom, because that was the direction, that was the order they fell in. Dragon Knight's still at, like, 60% health? That is very unfortunate. Alaric going down, because Alaric was doing amazing amounts of extra damage, but is back down to slightly below baseline at 90% bonus damage. 180% overall damage on all attacks. Oh, that's right, actually. Because it raises it by 1%. So it's 190%. I was thinking it doubles it, but it doesn't when it's less than 100, I don't think. But I may be bad at math. I was definitely an English major, so I am not the one to ask about this. This one would be kill onto Deathwing. Meanwhile, though, we do go and have a mercenary camp pushing through the Bridge of Death. It does look like Ping is up there trying to deal with it. Eric down a little bit low again. And it is 4v4 with Sergeant Hammer on the other end of the map. Camps being picked up all over the place. Picking up camps all over the place. Nice invade that I was not paying attention to. Goes ahead and takes down the Sergeant Hammer. And there, look, hey, look. Once again, there's a push in. This will probably take this down. Almost assuredly it will, actually. Eric goes boom! There's Shredded Wind coming on out. Alright, that was a lot of damage on Rhaegar's head. Rhaegar had a very, very difficult time surviving that. Definitely self-ancestral, best ancestral, did not and then we do also have the Hanzo going down. Eric's still alive, but Eric still is down to the baseline 90 sadism. So definitely not, like, an incredible threat that they have to like be super, super careful around. And it does look like Genji's going to upgrade from Shimada to Dargan. Went for X-Strike, did not go for Dragon Sword or whatever it's called. Dragon Blade?
Blue team has destroyed a fort.
Alright, all forces in the game are gone, but we are working on the first keep. Down here at the bottom is Durotan Couch to march in. But that Dragonite is not much longer for this world. There goes Fade landing. Just go ahead and slow down Ping's damage on that Hama. Arrow comes through, stun, gets a decent stun out on a lot of people. And everyone is back up, so it does look like there's a retreat coming from our blue team.
Team's core is impaired.
Fade is landing. Alright, there's a stun onto Chromie. They're trying to hold this back. I just fizzed down pretty low. There's Mockery going in, but they do lose Hammer. It's only Rhaegar and Mockery trying to hold this back, and the core is down to 20%, down to 10%, and that's going to be game number 2, ending in favor of Durotan's Couch here on Darganshire. Look at the stats we do go ahead and have in terms of damage. 79,000 damage coming out of Mockery. Yano's coming out with 71,000. We're going to go ahead and have Idioms out healing Shredded Wind, just barely though. Only about 2,000, actually even less than that, only about 1,500 healing separates them across a 21-minute game. And then we do go ahead and have, in terms of the side soak, 25... I just fizzed, kind of burying Hammer in the side soak. Definitely moving through a lot more. It looks like a lot more fighting for Hammer as opposed to Hogair. But with that, I will go back to the in-between screen and I will see you, if you're ready for more, in game number 4. Adore.
Cursed Hollow.
As you can see at the top of the screen, we do have Durotan's couch up 2-0. Go ahead and credit them for the last game. So, they are also first pick and first ban, which means Cursed Hollow was selected by Can't Connect Stuns. This potentially could be the last game of the series. I hope not. I do want CCS to come back and put us to 2-2. I want a game 5. We're almost at the end of the season. Now I want to cast more. Alright, so once again we do have the Vikings being banned out, and Mockery continues to not be allowed to play Tracer. Again, by the way, what was very interesting is that Mockery ended up on... Who was Mockery on? Because it wasn't Hammer, and I don't feel like it was Alarak either. But Mockery did not end up on Hammer, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, interesting, they get rid of Deathwing. Deathwing definitely was a wrench in their plans, that's for sure. Johanna is available. Johanna was banned out the first 2 games. Taken last game did not lead to success. They go ahead and take the Witchy Brightwing. I did such a good job getting rid of my mechanical hiccup. Stay away. I'm still amazed that we don't have the Diablo being taken by Brainer every available opportunity. There's Rhaegar coming out. Yonner's also being removed. By removed, I mean picked. So will be Brightwing versus Rhaegar. Johanna against we don't know the enemy tank yet. They do go ahead and ban out the Diablo. Brainer obviously are mad that Brainer doesn't get to play Diablo. They're making them to take the safe tank. And once again, they do not want to let that Zeratul out. Eric is a terror on Zeratul. A Zera terror? There's the Tassaface and the Chin coming out. So Chin is interesting. Chin was actually banned in game number 1, I remember. We haven't seen a Chin actually picked yet. So I'm interested to see what Ping can do with the Panda. Mockery back on the Tassadar was very, very effective on Tassadar. Though I feel like not as effective as they were on Hammer. But Hammer is one of those heroes you kind of have to catch people off guards with.
Every death comes honor. With honor.
Okay, that's very interesting. We actually do have a Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis showed up in game number 2, and I kind of felt like it was the worst showing tank in the match. So Faye gonna come out and be like, I'm gonna show you how to Mal'Ganis. This is a risky play. Because Mal'Ganis can definitely struggle into stuns. And Chin is going to have the barrel. Brightwing is going to have the polymorph. Tassadar will have Black Hole, and then Raider. I don't know if knockback actually stops Dark Inversion. But here we go into game number 4. Like I said, Durotan's Couch trying to close out the series. CCS wants has a little bit something to say about that. Let's get into it. Vote on who you think is going to win. Win those channel points. They're amazing. into game number 3, or number 4. We do have representing the side of Durotan's couch here on the blue side of the battlefield. Yonars is going to be playing Genji. Idioms is going to be playing Rhaegar. Hiva is going to be, or Hiva is going to be playing the Hanzo. Fade onto that Mal'Ganis, and I just fizzed once again on their favorite hero, the Blase. Meanwhile, representing Can't Connect Suns, trying to bring us back to a tie series. We do go and have Eric coming out here and playing the James Raynor. We're going to go ahead and get Brainer onto the Johanna. Mockery is playing the Tassaface. Ping coming out here onto the Chin. And Shredded Wind will go ahead and be playing the Brightwing. Shredded Wind playing Emerald Wind Hero. I don't wonder if they'll actually go Emerald Wind. It feels like they should like get bonus damage with it. I mean, wrong game server. If you want to remake, now would be the time to do it. We are less than a minute into the game, at least when you said that. And we will be back to make sure no one can come in and find out where people are on the map. Thank you very much for the raid. Not gonna know. I do apologize. There's a little bit of a discussion over whether or not the game is set up in the wrong server. We will be back just as soon as the game starts. kind of a bad time for the raid to come in terms of the fact that we're just on a pause screen for right now. But I always go to the pause screen whenever there's or the intro screen whenever there's a pause of the game, because we are on a 30-second delay for competitive integrity, and I do not want people to be able to like come here after we pause for 30 seconds and get a up-to-date idea of where all their opponents are. Alright, we are back right at the beginning of game number 4. Durotan's couch is up 2-1 over Can't Connect Stuns. We do go ahead and have Aegis Fizz down here, opposed by Eric over on the James Raynor. Eric tried to go ahead and be a little bit mean to the other side. Raynor did go ahead and took Exterminator, so not going to be able to like build up stacks, did not take like the stacking quest, which Raynor sometimes will get. Definitely, when a Rainer's going up against like a more melee-ish offlaner, you can get a lot of value out of that, but obviously Exterminator will really help with camp clear. You're here in the middle. We do have a bit of a move through. Johanna gets people back to the area. We do have a blind coming onto the Mal'Ganis. A little bit of aggression happening here by Can't Connect Stuns here in the middle of the map. There is a nice sleep coming out of Fade. Fade trying to survive. Body blocking happening in the middle from CCS, but there's a big stun coming out of the Blaze trying to go on top of this other team. And there goes the spell shielding. Everyone's surviving so far. Protected, by the way. No damage onto the Genji. Blue team shows up, but no one actually going down just yet. Alright, Kiva going in and getting that picked up real quick. Here comes Ping, going in there trying to get that picked up. We do have Raynor against Blaze at the bottom. This is a 4v4. Lots of damage on the Fade on the Mal'Ganis, and Mal'Ganis will not go out. The first blood of the game does go in favor of Can't Connect Stuns as they go and take down the Mal'Ganis. There is Ping leaping in onto Hiva. And the first tribute is going to go ahead. Below, we did have a quick teleport out. Oh, I assumed that was where probably we can go. Mockery pushing in. Yonner's having to fall back against Mockery's aggression, and we will get a little bit of free damage onto this tower. Is it possible the bottom tower will go down? It depends on what the archers do. The answer is yes, bottom tower does fall. Tribute coming up. This is a tribute that favors Durotan's couch. Alright, there's Eric. Exterminator Raynor going in and getting this taken down. Very quick work done here. Picking that up just before the objective. So they may not be trying to get the objective, but if they can stall, they can get a lot of value here. But not really trying to push that back. It looks like they're just going to go ahead and give up that objective. They say, it's in a really bad position to siege into, so we're just going to come down here. Get back to lane, see what we can do. 4 members of the blue team here in the middle. Ping trying to do what they can. Raider needs to get the heck back. Does get back as the blue team arrives. And a boss pickup on the side of CCS. A bit surprising. This should get scouted out. Yeah, Fade has an idea this is happening.
The choice is simple.
They did interrupt that. Now, only 2 people came up here. I don't think this is known. Genji's still at the bottom. Hanzo is in the middle. And then we do have Rhaegar picking up this camp. But that does at least scare the other team away from that boss. Alright, Eric gonna go and try and pick this up. Getting on top of Fade, making it hard for Fade to stop this. Fade goes ahead and turns into a bevy of bats. And there we go ahead and have the Hanzo arrow sweeping across. Doesn't actually catch anyone. There's a big sleep going on to Ping. Ping goes down, but already we do have CCS picking up the tribute. So this is the after party. And after party does begin with us evening up the kill count as Johanna goes down. It looks like the after party favor is going to be the, I want to say the orange boss. Like obviously it's neither team's boss yet, but it's definitely the boss of the orange side of the battlefield. And that's being picked up real quick. Here comes I Just Fizz walking on up. And they walked on by. And while this is going, they do have Rainer pushing the other lane. They've taken out both towers and are able to move in here. Keep in mind, Inspire can absolutely just push down. And it will never, never, never fall off. Never, never, never gonna give you up.
Red team has destroyed the fort.
I'm a bit surprised they went into that. I guess because there were 4 people here and 3 people ran into 4. Now, granted, they were under their own tower. They had a little bit of advantage, but not that much. And that is going to be a kill given up as the Yawners falls down again. Was that Yawners? They didn't look Yawners last. Give them all Ganis. No, Ganis is there. The Johanna. Brainer. Alright, both teams have 2 tributes. The next tribute will be right here, which slightly favors Durotan's couch, but not significantly so. The terrain does not favor them, it's just a little bit closer to their core. Okay, actually using their ult. All ults up except for Tassadar's on the side of CCS.
Gather tribute or face my curse. The choice is simple.
That's a lot of damage. Oh, that's right. Yonner's getting out of there with less than 100 hit points. But will. Nope, Fade will not. I just saw Fade go up there and there were a bunch of orange health bars. But Yonner's gonna have a hard time healing, and here comes the objective. Idioms is in the area. There is Kiva comes through. A lot of damage coming out of that arrow. Fade very, very low. We do go to Brightwing coming in, healing up the Johanna. There is the big fight happening as Fade is down to about 50%. I Just Fizz currently in the main positions. Fade had to fall back. There is Yonner's to quick charge forward, looking for blood. And Fade going back. I Just Fizz dives to the bunker. But Brader also very, very low on hit points. There is the Hyperion strafing across, going ahead and doing a lancing attack. Strafing across the entire enemy team, and Fade will be the first to go down. Kiva does not quite get that taken care of. There's Chin. Chin coming in. Idioms is the next one to be targeted. Looks like we'll get away, at least for right now. But we'll be that let that happen. That is a double kill for the side of CCS, and they have the curse. Alright, Eric takes a good bit of damage. I'm surprised there couldn't get more there, but death timers are very, very short this early in the game. We're just at 10 minutes right now. Eric falling back. We do go ahead and have Ping. Ping basically just being a pest in the backline and not letting them engage. Lots of damage onto Fade, and Fade not able to heal up. That could be terrible. And that's a good knockback onto the Blaze. Blaze tried to charge out of there, but very, very quickly got pulled back into danger, and that's going to be a double kill onto the side of Durotan's couch.
The curse is over.
Middle fort goes down, bottom fort goes down, but keep in mind, top lane is still favoring the side of Durotan's couch. Picking up these camps, they need to be quick though, because Blaze is coming back up right about now. And their advantage is not really, I mean, they don't have an advantage. They're almost 16. That will give them a little bit of a spike. But they're actually not 16 that far ahead of their opponents. But there comes the Hyperion. I'm going to go in and unleash that Yamato cannon. There's no Avatar in this game, which means no Mule. Boop.
Blue team's core is under attack.
That should be cleaned up. I don't think it'll get through shields. It might. Shields should be going down a little bit slower. Okay, with this spawning, then yeah, the shields will not actually be gotten through by this. Meanwhile, here's Fade coming in. Bring a lot of them to sleep. Nice job on the keg. Just go ahead and get that taken care of. Stun coming down onto the Genji and lots of damage. Yano's trying to get out of there. There is the pullback. Yano's getting healed up by the ancestral healing. Lots of damage. Eric not able to get in. Was caught right in the middle of everything. And there is Brainer. Brainer also going down. That is now a double kill for Durotan's couch. And they now have the same opportunity their opponents had.
Gather tribute. Earn my favor.
With the tribute coming in 30 seconds, this will be almost assuredly a tribute on the side of Durotan's couch. So they now have the ability to kind of equalize the playing field. But while this is happening, no one is paying attention to the boss. Boss will get this down.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
Alright, but they have a lot of work to do. A lot of their lanes are pushed pretty severely. There's a nice stun coming out. Mockery's got all dressed up with nowhere to go. We do go ahead and have that arrow coming out and knocks Brainer down to about 50%. And they are doing everything they can with the next about 40 seconds in order to make this battlefield back. For a while, it definitely looked like a game 5, which to be honest, to reveal my bias, I want a game 5. But I also want an exciting game, so you know what? I'm okay with this. Now at the bottom lane, we do go ahead and have these two. These two siege minions are definitely going to help de-push this, oppose the push in the middle. But our big attention is here, right out here. They're trying to go in and knock down another fort, and they will get it. There is the stun coming down, and that's going to be a double kill. Are they actually in a position to end this game right now? There's only 3 different defenders left on the side. Oh, but there is the keg coming through. Idiom's unable to get back to La La Land, and Idiom's will go down. There's no healer, but they also get the Tassiface. Ping going down, and they've actually taken down everyone except for Brainer in terms of the defense. but a lot of low hit points going through. They don't have a wave. So, despite the fact that they've got 4 up and only 1 defender, I don't think they can end right now. If they still had a healer, I think that looks entirely different. Healer can kind of keep them up against the aggression. They can kind of trade off, and then just the group heals coming out. Hello, Ghost Duck. Goes in and picks this up. Definitely anyone's game. Level 20 is unlocked for the side of Durotan's couch. Not yet for Can't Connect Stuns, but will be by the time the next tribute comes up. The next tribute is a whole bunch of a nothing burger. Both teams need 3 tributes for another phase to unlock. And there goes the bottom fort, falling against the might of Durotan's couch. There is a level 20 coming up for the side of CCS. We are going to see Seeker Swarm, Living Weapon, Farseer's Blessing, the Dragon Awakens, and Fortified Bunker. Opposing, Invisible Friends, Purifying Brew, Radiating Faith, Raiders Roll. That's the way rough Raiders roll. And Twilight Archon. There's that polymorph, kind of control. Big push in, but no actual, like, real effect. There is ping going back, does avoid that. Keep in mind, Hanzo can rip those a lot now that they've taken the Dragon Awakens. And that's actually going to be, Brainer, the only survivor from the previous fight, going down. Blue team has destroyed a fort. Now there will be a boss coming out in just a second, but red team has to get back very quick. Oh no, they're actually not going for core. I figured they would take their time and get a little bit more free damage because their opponents will work around. Now we're gonna have a red push with this boss. They are definitely all kind of moving in that direction, trying to see what they can see. Alright, big stun coming through. There was a triple stun from the shield. Quick pull in from Johanna, but the bunker goes ahead and like stops a lot of that combination coming through. Fade goes ahead and just goes blind as a bat. Crazy trying to hit everyone and being fairly successful. There's going to be arrow coming through, and that's going to be an end of Tassadar. End of Chen. Shredded Wind, not long for this world as they go down as well. Eric being looked at, and there is Fade. Goes in and gets that car as well. Brainer, the sole survivor. The sole survivor. But you know what? As they told Jack Sparrow, the problem with being the last in the world is eventually there's none left.
Red team dominated.
That's going to be the end of the game, I'm almost sure. They're coming through the middle of the map, going to go ahead and get this taken care of.
Red team's core is under attack.
Come on, Catapult, you can do it. Alright, and with that, game number 4 and the series goes in favor of Durotan's couch. Let me see if I can get an interview set up. After these messages, I'll be right back. And while I wait to see if anyone wants to join me, looking at the stats at the end of that game, we do have Hiva coming through with 91,000 damage over the course, almost doubling Mockery's damage. Keep in mind, in game number 1, Mockery almost doubled everyone's damage. This time, Hiva comes in with 91,000 damage, Mockery with 54, and Yawners with 49,000. In terms of the healing, we do have 101,000 healing for Idioms, which... Again, most of the damage was on the blue side, so the fact that the blue healer got more is very impressive. We do also have 86,000 coming from Shredded Wind, and hello, hello, hello.
Hi there.
I am joined by Sailor Twift.
Hi.
So, first of all, how are you feeling?
I felt very sick in game 1 watching that, and then I felt very good watching my team win.
Yeah, I definitely, game number 1, it was interesting because game number 1 felt the most unsided of, or the most one-sided of any game of the series. Game number 1 and 2 kind of went very strong one way or the other, and then games 3 and 4 seemed a lot more back and forth, and it could have swung back the other direction.
Very true. I think in game 1 specifically, the couch should have been trying to just survive till 20. I think that could have really turned things around for them, but they made a big play early, pre-20, and didn't work out, but that's okay.
Well, live and learn they did. Is there anything specific you guys changed out going into games 2 through 4?
We basically kept the same draft strategy throughout. The bans and stuff just changed depending on the maps. Like you saw the Vikings ban on the big maps, and like the hammer ban on some maps. Obviously, they got hammer a couple times, which was scary, but the team did a very good job of dealing with it. But no, I don't think after game 1 the plan really changed. We just stuck with what we knew, stuck with what we thought they were good at, and banning that.
All right, and then the other question I have is that, because it definitely felt like in game number 1 they had Ping on as a healer, and then Ping went to the offlane. Did you guys change your strategy at all depending on what roles were held by who, or were you just like, we play the heroes, not the player?
Yeah, based on what we looked at, Ping, for example, is just an incredibly good Zeratul and Vikings player. We were terrified of that. So like we know they switch roles a lot. Like in the scouting, we saw like 3 or 4 of them like played Rhaegar, 3 or 4 of them tank. They switch roles a lot. I think they just play what they're happy. Like they play who's best on the hero, and it works out for them. They're all very good at a lot of different heroes.
Well, I mean, they obviously are. They got to the finals, but you managed to come out on top. So very much congratulations for winning the Nexus division.
Thank you.
Any plans for like next season?
Not at the moment, no. Be happy to keep playing with this team.
Fantastic. All right. That's all the questions I had for you. Let me turn it over to you for any shout outs you might want to give.
Well, first of all, shout out to you for casting. We really appreciate it. And you cast so many games and it doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you so much. And shout out to my team. Shout out to Hiva for showing up last minute because my internet died and I had to watch there on my phone.
Oh, yuck.
Shout out to Fizz for filling in again on Friday. We haven't played with him very much this season. He did amazing. He was incredible. Shout out to everyone on the team, but especially those two for coming in last minute to save the day. And shout out to Twitch chat.
Shout out to Twitch chat. We love you guys, except when we don't. All right. So, again, very much congratulations. I will let you enjoy the after party.
Thank you so much. Take care.
For everyone else, we will raid over to NGS 2 because they just started barely an hour ago, so I bet we have more Div D action still going on. So let's go say hi.